A very warm good morning to all of you. So, speaking of any country, one of the very first few thoughts which strikes our mind is its law and order. And when we talk of law, it is the constitution that rings the bell. One could inarguably say that the constitution of any country is like its feet. Without a constitution, a country is likely to collapse in no time. हमारे भारत का संविधान भी कुछ इसी तरह एक अहम भूमिका निभाता है। आज हम यदि भारत में रह रहे हैं, पढ़ रहे हैं, यदि अपने पसंद का कोई काम कर रहे हैं, तो वह इसलिए है क्योंकि हमारे संविधान ने हमें ऐसे अधिकार दिए हैं। जब हमारे संविधान का निर्माण हो रहा था, तो उसके निर्माताओं का यह नैतिक कर्तव्य बनता था कि वो भारत के नागरिकों को ऐसे अधिकार दें जिसके वे हकदार हैं, और उन्होंने बिल्कुल ही निस्वार्थ तरीके से सिर्फ और सिर्फ भारत के भविष्य और सुशासन को ध्यान में रखते हुए अपने कर्तव्यों का पालन किया। But framing the constitution was indeed not an easy job. The Constituent Assembly had to face enormous number of problems and challenges while making the constitution. No doubt, whatever they did it for the country's welfare, but it involved a series of debates and disagreements within the members. One such issue was related to the national language of India. भारत की राष्ट्रभाषा का चयन हम सब के बीच एक चिंता का विषय बनकर मौजूद था। क्या वह हिंदी होनी चाहिए या हिंदुस्तानी? Let's take a look at this matter in the form of a little act. महात्मा गांधी begins with his ideas.
हिंदुस्तानी भाषा हिंदी एवं उर्दू भाषाओं का मिश्रण होते हुए एक ऐसी भाषा है जो पूरे भारत में इस्तेमाल की जाती है। इसका इस्तेमाल अनेक समुदायों के लोग बातचीत करने के लिए कर सकते हैं। यह भारत को एकजुट रख सकती है।
Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, however, advocated for the Sanskrit language.
संस्कृत भारत की सबसे पुरानी भाषा है। हम सबको इस भाषा को सबसे ज्यादा सम्मान देना चाहिए। इस भाषा का प्रयोग भारत के कई क्षेत्रों में किया जाता है। यहाँ तक कि अधिकांश भाषा का जन्म संस्कृत से ही हुआ है।
While some agreed with Baba Saheb in Sanskritizing Hindi, there were also attempts to Persianize the Urdu language. These two languages were being separated from each other because there were more and more words from the Sanskrit and Arabic origins which were being added to Hindi and Urdu respectively, which Mahatma Gandhi was not happy about.
हिंदुस्तानी केवल हिंदी या केवल उर्दू नहीं होनी चाहिए। यह तो दोनों भाषाओं का एक सुखद संगम है। खुद को हिंदी या सिर्फ उर्दू तक ही सीमित रखना बुद्धिमत्ता और देशभक्ति की भावना के खिलाफ अपराध समान होगा।
इसी बीच एक कांग्रेसी ने संविधान के निर्माण के लिए हिंदी भाषा की दलील दी। He made such a bold statement that it stunned the whole assembly. It was a very rude attack to each and everyone who disagreed that Hindi should be the national language of India.
मैं रघुनाथ विनायक ढुलेकर कांग्रेस पार्टी की तरफ से लैंग्वेज इश्यूज पर अपने विचार व्यक्त कर रहा हूँ। मेरे विचार में बिना किसी बहस और संशय के हिंदी को राष्ट्रभाषा का दर्जा दिया जाना चाहिए। मैं संदिग्ध हूँ कुछ लोगों की बातें सुनकर जो इस बात से अलग विचार रख रहे हैं कि हिंदी हमारी राष्ट्रभाषा नहीं होनी चाहिए। मैं पूछना चाहूंगा उनसे कि भारत और इसके देशवासियों का प्रतिनिधि और प्रतिनिधित्व करते हुए आप कैसे बोल सकते हैं कि आपको हिंदुस्तानी भाषा का ज्ञात नहीं? बेहतर होगा कि आप इसी वक्त सदन छोड़कर चले जाए। आप ऐसा कैसे कह सकते हैं? यह सरासर गलत बात है। आपको संवैधानिक मर्यादाओं का ध्यान रखना चाहिए।
पूरी सभा में कोहराम मच गया। सभी सोचने लगे कि आखिर धुलेकर साहब ऐसा कर कैसे सकते हैं। आखिर में पंडित नेहरू ने सभा को शांत कराने की कोशिश की।
आप लोग शांत हो रहे, आप लोग कृपया शांत रहे।
यहाँ कोई अपनी मनमानी नहीं कर सकता।
आप कृपया शांत हो जाए।
ख्याल रखें।
हमें ये नहीं भूलना चाहिए हम यहाँ किस लिए मौजूद हैं। हम यहाँ भारत के लोगों के लिए संविधान बनाने के लिए हैं और अराजकता फैलाना ना तो संविधान है ना ही सभ्य व्यवहार। मुझे यकीन है अगर हम संयम से वार्तालाप करेंगे तो निश्चित तौर पर नतीजे पे पहुंचेंगे।
By September 1947, after independence, the Language Committee of the Constituent Assembly produced a report.
I speak on behalf of the Language Committee of this Honorable Constituent Assembly. We have thought of a compromise formula to resolve the deadlock between those who advocate Hindi as the national language and those who oppose it. Mr. President, kindly allow me to read the report which we have decided, the committee has decided.
Please continue.
Hindi in the Devnagari script would be the official language, but the transition to Hindi would be gradual. For the first 15 years, English would continue to be used for all official purposes. Each province is allowed to choose one regional language for all the official work within the province. We hope to placate the ruffled emotions and arrive at a solution acceptable by all. We refer to Hindi as the official language and not the national language of India. Thank you.
This could not satisfy Mr. Dhulekar either.
Sir, हिंदी को भारत की ऑफिशियल लैंग्वेज बनते थे मैं बहुत खुश हूँ मगर ये एक ऐतिहासिक प्रक्रिया था एक समापन में न कि हिंदी भाषा पर किया गया कोई एहसान मैं हिंदी को राष्ट्रभाषा बनते हुए देखना चाहूंगा न कि राजभाषा
The day after Mr. Dhulekar spoke, Srimati Durgabai expressed her views about the matter before the President. Durgabai had been obeying the call of Mahatma Gandhi and carrying the Hindustani propaganda to the south. Durgabai वो थी जो महात्मा गांधी के आह्वान का पालन कर रही थी और हिंदुस्तानी को दक्षिण में लेकर जा रही थी.
Mr. President, the question of national language for India, which was an almost agreed proportion and until recently has suddenly become a highly controversial issue. Whether rightly or wrongly, the people of non-Hindu speaking areas have been made to feel that this fight or this attitude on behalf of the Hindi speaking areas is a fight for effectively preventing natural influence of others. Powerful language of India on the composite culture of this nation. The opponents feel perhaps justly that this propaganda for Hindustani cuts at the very root of provincial languages. Now, what is the result of it all? I am shocked to see this agitation against the enthusiasm with which we took to Hindustani in the earliest of the century.
You can see how difficult it was for the members of the assembly to arrive at the decision. The Constitution of India is the result of such headache borne by the members of the Constitution Assembly. There were many hurdles crossed. There were many disagreements between the members of the Constituent Assembly, such as distribution of power between the state and the central government, separate electorate. The most important thing that everyone should keep in mind was size and the diversity of our nation. Intellectuals like Pandit Nehru and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar often debated with each other, but their disagreements were solely for the welfare and the future of India and never for their personal interest.
However, a good constitution may be, if those who are implementing it are not good, it will be proved to be bad. However, a bad constitution may be, if those who are implementing it are good, it will be proved to be good.
मैं और अम्बेडकर जी बहुत सारे बातों पर असहमत थे, लेकिन हमारे मन में एक दूसरे के लिए समान इज्जत थी.
Everyone's opinion was to be taken into the account and the matters were often compromised. The issue of national language was such a complex and a time-taking issue that it is almost impossible to perform it in the form of a play. उसके बावजूद भी हम सभी ने आपके सामने इसे प्रस्तुत करने की कोशिश केवल इसलिए की क्योंकि हम आपको यह बताना चाहते हैं कि संविधान का निर्माण करना कितना कठिन काम था। Hence, we all celebrate Constitution Day tomorrow, and it is our prime duty to respect all the members of the Constituent Assembly who crossed many hurdles to frame and gave us the finest constitution through which our country is functioning and working smoothly.
As this play comes to an end, we would like to pay our heartiest gratitude to our respected principal sir who gave us this wonderful opportunity to perform this act, and to each and every one of you who were patient enough to see it. We would also like to thank our political science teacher Kushagra sir who provided us with immense guidance and support for this project. We hope that you all found it very enjoyable. At last, let's take a look at the actors who efficiently performed their roles. Anshika as Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, Aditya Raj Chaudhary as Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Aditya Raj as Mahatma Gandhi, Shriti Singh Munda as Srimati Durgabai, Rashi Singh as Ivy Gulekar, Samreet Ravi, Achal Sikka, Kritika, Pratha, and Manchika as other members of the Assembly, Aditya Hatra as leader of the Language Committee, and the Abhijit. Last but not the least, Supratim Ghosh, who gave us the conclusion. At last, I, Sangar Kumar, would like to quote what our Honorable Prime Minister Sir once said. Our Constitution is like a ray of hope. H for harmony, O for opportunity, P for people's participation, and E for equality. Thank you very much.
It was truly a fabulous act. Thank you so much, students. Now, I would like to request Aditi Kumari of class 7B, who is going to deliver a speech on Constitution Day.
We are Indians, firstly and lastly. None can make history if they can't remember that of their own. With a really warm good morning, I, Aditi Kumari, would like to draw your attention towards today's great event, India's Constitution Day. Since 2015, we celebrate our Constitution Day on 26th of November every year. On this day, 73 years ago, our Constitution was adopted by the Indian Constituent Assembly. However, it was enacted after the whole of 2 months because this was a special day for India. On 26 November 1930, India was chosen to be a country of Purna Swaraj rather than being just a dominion state. So, on 1950, the same day, we celebrate Republic Day by enacting the Constitution. India is the largest democracy of the world with a good and well Constitution. Our Constitution gives us justice. Our Constitution gives us justice, equality and liberty. It ensures the dignity of the individual and unity and integrity of the nation. The very first line of the preamble of our Constitution starts with, "We the people of India," which indeed is a statement of equality and symbolizes that India is to be ruled or governed by none other than its own people. Now, I would like to end this speech with a really great salute to this great country. Thank you.
At this outset, let me first congratulate the promising students of class 11 Humanities group who presented such a thought-provoking act today. Candidly speaking, I personally learned a lot regarding how the people were, having a discussion before this constitution of our country was brought into practice. It was a audacious act marvelous presentation on the part of the students. They deserve appreciation. Please clap for all of them once again. I urge all of you, you must get the preamble of Constitution by heart. You should know the focal points which have been, displayed in the preamble of our Constitution. If we know, if we follow, that is the real learning. And at this platform, I give an assignment to class 11H student. Before the session gets over, they should take the responsibility and they should come up with the concept of youth parliament. How does our parliament work? Speaker, then other persons in favor of motions, persons against the motion. Means they should just, present one day the concept of youth parliament under the guidance of their teachers, Madam Indira Ghosh, Mr. Kushagra, a class teacher of 11H and other teachers. They will guide them, and I am sure the way they presented today, you can just see the hidden talents. If they get exposure, certainly they have the ability to fathom the Pacific Ocean. God bless you all. God bless you.